What's up, Zilla? I'm back, once again. A couple days ago was November 7th, which is N7 Day, for those who don't know. It's a day to honor and respect Mass Effect, one of my favorite game series. And, I'll be honest with you, now's not a good time to be a Mass Effect fan. Now is not a good time. This is probably the most depressing N7 day ever. I don't want to talk about Andromeda. I don't want to talk about EA. I don't want to talk about any of that. I kind of want to keep it positive because things have been pretty negative in the Mass Effect community. So I was just thinking back to the original trilogy, the first three, some of my favorite games. Each of these games was pretty unique and significant. But I know with my friends and on the internet, whatever, there's been a huge debate about which one is the best one. I've been thinking about that for a long time and I can't really come up with a clear answer, so I figured we would end the debate once and for all right here. So, first of all, Mass Effect 1 is the most unique of the three. The second and third games are action games after EA had already acquired BioWare. Those games are really different compared to the first game. The first game was more old school, kind of like BioWare's older RPGs like Neverwinter Nights and Jade Empire. It was set up more like that, the way the inventory worked and the way the story played out and the way the player kind of did certain things. But when you get to the second game, then the focus kind of shifts away from the RPG elements and back to the action. Specifically in Mass Effect 2 is where you get the character development. And the story, in terms of the grand scheme of the Mass Effect story, is kind of irrelevant with the collectors and everything like that, but the characters in Mass Effect 2 is what really makes that game stand out. And then in Mass Effect 3, you get the most kind of advanced technology at the time. Like, it was the best engine, and it was really sort of the culmination of everything that BioWare had learned up until that point. Ignoring the ending, Mass Effect 3 was probably the most polished one. I think, honestly, Mass Effect 3, I can't call Mass Effect 3 the best one. Even though it's the most technically impressive, I can't call it the best one just because of the way the ending worked out. And I was there for vanilla. I remember before the DLC additions and everything like that. So I remember the vanilla version, and I can't really call that the best Mass Effect. So it's really between 1 and 2. It's, do you care about the RPG elements? Do you care about sort of the ambiance, the depth? Or do you care about the action and the streamlined experience and the character development? When you actually go back and play these games, 2 has much higher replayability, much higher. It's more polished, it's more streamlined. And then ultimately, the decision that EA and BioWare made to streamline the game was better for it moving forward because it has better replayability. Mass Effect 1 is very sloppy compared to Mass Effect 2 when you actually go back and play it. Now, it's still a great game, but Mass Effect 2 feels great. Mass Effect 2 feels great. And it's for that reason that I think Mass Effect 2 just slightly edges out Mass Effect 1 as the best of the three. Technically, anybody could pick it up without actually having played Mass Effect 1. They do a pretty good job of filling you in. It's a well-rounded, polished experience. It could even stand alone, even in the story overall. It doesn't have the same kind of stress or sense of urgency that Mass Effect 3 has, and it doesn't have the sloppiness that Mass Effect 1 has. So I think Mass Effect 2 is probably the best Mass Effect to play. Now, personally, again, Mass Effect Trilogy is one of the best trilogies in gaming, so I would suggest playing all three. Play all three, why not? All three of them are better than Andromeda, and with all the DLCs in Mass Effect 3, they do a pretty good job of wrapping everything up. Personally, I like the control ending. I like how that works out, where my guy is the most powerful guy in the galaxy. I like that. But again, Mass Effect 2, I consider once and for all, it's my final decision. Mass Effect 2 is the best Mass Effect. It's the best one, it's the most polished. It's more polished than Mass Effect 1, but then it wraps itself up nicely and is well-rounded compared to Mass Effect 3, which required lots of trial and error. So thank you for tuning in. Tell me what's your favorite Mass Effect in the comments, and stay tuned for more videos. Zilla, I'll be back.